We are going to work through some examples of the product rule. So I've got the statement of the product rule up here. In prime notation, you could use ddx. So we're going to take the derivative of the first one times the second function in that product, plus switch the order, the first function times the derivative of the second. Now, there are songs about this. You can look those up, but really, you need to memorize that product rule. But let me show you what it looks like in practice. So first of all, in this example, I notice that I've got a product. I can go ahead and drop in a multiplication symbol there to designate my product. And I've got a first function multiplied by a second function, g. So I want to multiply this out so that I've got that formula. So as I work through the formula, I'm going to take the derivative of x squared first. And I'm actually going to write this out so that you can see exactly what I've done. So it's going to be the derivative of the first times the second with no changes. So times sine x. And then I want that plus sign, and then I'm going to go and switch the order. So it's going to be the first one, no changes, times the derivative of the second, so sine x prime. As I put all of this together now, the derivative of x squared is 2x. I'm leaving the sine x, so times sine x, and then plus the derivative of sine x is what we're going to take, but we're leaving the x squared. So this is going to be x squared times cosine of x. And now I've got my answer. I can go ahead and rewrite it so it looks a little more cohesive, but there's no simplifying that I can do here. So I'll just rewrite it as my answer. Let's go ahead and take a look at a second example. In this next one, I'm going to again put in that multiplication symbol so I can recognize this as a product. I'm going to keep the 3 in the e to the x grouped. I could even bring the 3 out in front of the derivative, just a constant multiplier. And I'm going to treat the cosine x as g. So I've got my g and I've got my f. Let's go ahead and work through these. I'm again going to write this so that you can see how I'm working these. So I'm going to take 3e to the x prime times the original function, cosine x, plus, now I'm going to swap the order. So 3e to the x is going to be left alone, and I'm going to take the derivative of cosine of x. So again, I've got f prime in the first term, f in the second, and then I have times g in the first term, g prime in the second. Simplifying what we've got, the derivative of 3e to the x is just 3e to the x. I was not doing anything with that cosine for the first time, so I get the cosine of x. Nothing changes with 3e to the x, so I get plus 3e to the x, and I take the derivative of cosine. That's the only thing that changes here, and that's going to be a negative sine x. I can clean this up just a teeny tiny bit by moving that negative sign out in front of that second term, and I end up with my answer. So 3e to the x cosine x minus 3e to the x sine x. Okay, you're getting this next example. In this next example, I have another product. I've got 4x squared times x squared minus 3, which I could differentiate by applying that product rule. But even though I can put a multiplication symbol here, I am going to simplify. Whenever you can simplify first by doing some algebra and maybe getting it even to just a simple polynomial, do that. It's so much easier than applying the product rule. So I'm going to hang on to my derivative, so d dx, and let's go ahead and multiply the 4x squared through. So 4x squared times x squared, that's going to be 4x to the fourth. And then 4x squared times negative 3 is minus 12x squared. Oh my gosh, that is so much easier. No product rule necessary. Let's go ahead and just differentiate term by term. So for this one, the 4 stays out in front. I'm going to differentiate that x to the fourth. So that's going to be 4x cubed. Similarly with that second term, 12 stays out in front. The derivative of x squared is just 2x. And here comes my answer. No product rule needed. 16x cubed minus 24x. Let's see one more where we do need that product rule. So in this last one, I've got the derivative of the natural log of x times, so I can go and put my multiplication symbol there, times cosine x plus x cubed. So I've got my two functions identified. The natural log of x is f of x, and this quantity in parentheses, cosine x plus x cubed, is g. Now I can jump right in and apply my product rule. So I'm going to go ahead and write this out so you can see what I'm doing. So the natural log of x is going to get differentiated. That's f prime. I'm going to leave g, so cosine x plus x cubed. And then again, writing this out, the natural log is going to stay put. And I'm going to differentiate that second function. So differentiating cosine x plus x cubed. That's supposed to be a cosine x. And then that's going to be prime. So you can see that I've got f prime in the first term, f in the second. And then g in the first term, g prime in the second. Now I haven't mentioned this, but order really doesn't matter. I'm multiplying and adding. So these are all commutative. If you mess the order up, that's fine. Just make sure that you're swapping with each term. Continuing then, let's go back. Yeah, continuing, the derivative of the natural log of x is 1 over x, but I'm leaving g. So cosine of x plus x cubed. And then leaving the natural log, so I get the natural log of x times, now I take the derivative of that cosine, that's going to be negative sine x. And the derivative of x cubed is plus 3x squared, just enough room there. I can do a little bit of simplifying, not a ton here. Let's bring the 1 over x through. So I get cosine of x over x. As I bring the 1 over x through with the x cubed, it's divided by x. I can cancel and I get just an x to the second. So let's go ahead and simplify that, x to the second. Similarly, I'm going to multiply the natural log through. Natural log times negative sine x. So that's going to be negative natural log x times sine x. And then finally, not a lot to do here, but it's nice to write the polynomial in front of the natural log. So I'm going to write this as plus 3x squared times the natural log of x, and we've got our answer. Now, watch my next video. I'm going to show you how to work through the quotient rule. I've got lots of other videos so that you can get as much practice and instruction as you need. You've got this. Thanks for watching.